Hi and welcome to Tarot Club. This is my first video, so welcome. Big shout out to all you guys from Can't Take the Sky. Hope you came over and you enjoy. This is my little page for all things tarot, for all things related to tarot, because I love tarot. I've been certified and I'm always learning about tarot. I'm a certified tarot reader, but there's always something to learn about tarot. You can learn the meanings of the tarot cards, but there's still something else. There's loads of information out there, tons of it. There's so many books and so many websites, so many YouTube channels about tarot. So I decided to produce, because there was so much information out there and I just didn't know, there's just an abundance of it. So I decided to read up on it and write my own little information on each card, for my own benefit really. So even if nobody else reads it, I've decided to produce it. And so I did the Fool, which was great, which is the first card in the Major Arcana. But then I decided I don't want to do it in a boring order. I don't want to go to the next card and the next card because I get bored. So what I decided to do is just shuffle the deck like you do normally, like us readers do, and go for it. And so the first card I pulled this morning when I decided to do it is the Death card, which seems kind of cool. You may look at the Death card and think, don't like that card, don't want that card in my spread. Number 13, but for me it's synchronicity because I was born on the 13th. The 13 is a lucky number, so the first card for me today is the Death card. Great, happy days. So if you look at the card and you think, imagine if you asked about a relationship and you got the Death card, you're like, oh my god, very negative. But it isn't necessarily a negative card, and we'll go into that in a minute. It isn't about death. It isn't somebody's going to die. It's more of a positive card than you think. So I'll go into that in a moment. So I use, for tarot cards, the major deck you should be using, I think like the basic starter pack for any aspiring tarot readers, is the Rider-Waite Tarot. You get a few different versions, like you can get Universal and a few things, but this is just the basic Rider-Waite Tarot, which I'm sure some tarot expert will correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this was the classic first tarot deck. It says here this is from 1909, but I'm sure there was one before it if you're an expert, but that's pretty cool. So I use that one. You get it all different versions. You get it big, small, you can get huge ones. I haven't got the huge ones. These are the standard size, the diamond back, and then I have some little ones that go in my handbag, which are really cute. But I also was watching a YouTube channel and there was a girl who was using the before and the after tarot. So over Christmas I treated myself because they're amazing cards. And if you are, like me, a bit of a tarot geek and you really love tarot, they're not the most cheapest cards on the market, but they're really, really lovely. And I'll show you the before tarot, which is the Rider-Waite image, but just a few moments before on each card, and they're really, really pretty, and it really helps you understand what's going on. And then obviously you have, after that, the after tarot, which again is a few moments after. So if you ever wonder why I've got three different tarot cards for the same card, that's why. So these are the after tarot, which is really beautiful, and these are the before tarot. Again, so if you're wondering why has Karen got three different versions, you'll know why. So that's the Rider-Waite version of the Death card, number 16 in the Major Arcana. And then these, I'll put an image up so you can see them more closely because I'm just flashing them at the camera. But there is the images, so have a look. A lot of people just read the cards. When I first started reading tarot and oracle cards, you pull a card and you just read the book. And that's great when you're first learning because obviously you don't understand. But as I've grown on my spiritual journey, I've found that I don't need to read the book. I can look at the pictures. And that sounds really like childish approach to it, but your intuition will help you more. So these cards are amazing and there's more in the picture. You just, at first glance, it's just a skeleton guy on a horse. But when you look, there's all imagery and all symbolism. Every single little image means something. And sometimes you can meditate with the card and get more from the card than you can ever get from the little book that you get in the box. So give it a go and just look at the card and see what your brain or your intuition or whoever, you know, your guides or whatever's telling you. So I've decided, obviously, as part of my writing my little tarot book, to study the cards and look at all the information available, and they're really cool. So when you get the death card in a reading, you think it's negative, but it's actually quite a positive card. It's about the end of a cycle. It's not about the death of somebody, it's about the end of a cycle, because life's about life cycles. So if you get this card in a spread, it's about change. It's about dramatic change. And if you these symbolise here, there's like a sort of bishop or a religious figure, and there's a female child and that looks like a little male child maybe, and then the king's dead. And that there represents every walk of life. And it doesn't matter whether you're rich or poor, black or white, male or female. Change is going to happen. Death comes to us all, unfortunately. We all don't get out of here alive. And that's what it's symbolising. In the life cycles, it doesn't matter whether you've got all the money in the world or whether you've got positions of power like the king and the Pope guy. It doesn't matter. Life's going to happen to you anyway. And the life cycle is going to come to an end, whether you're rich, poor or whatever. And it's about sometimes getting your priorities right, because he's a king and he's still dead. So it's about getting your priorities in order. It's about looking at what makes you happy rather than the positions of power. It's about inevitable change. It's about it's going to happen. He's going to make it happen. So if this comes up in a relationship spread, it's not necessarily saying the death of the relationship, it's saying the relationship's going to change. It may be that you're going to end that relationship, or it could mean that the relationship you're in now is going to change. It's not going to be the same as it was now. It's going to change. And that might be a completely positive thing. Because you see here, the sun's rising. The sun sets every situation, the sun sets on it. And the sun rises again. So if it is your relationship, it may be that the sun has set on that relationship and it's time to move on. But it doesn't mean that there's not something better out there. If it comes up in work, it may be you're made redundant. It may not be. It may be that you're going to get a promotion, but the sun is setting on a certain situation and there's better out there. It's about getting your priorities straight. It's about realising what makes you happy. It's about saying goodbye to the toxicity in your life, whether it be a toxic relationship, a toxic job, a toxic situation. It's about the death of that life cycle, and it's about leaving it all behind. So don't be scared of the death card, because I think it's pretty cool. Because you can see here, he's a skeleton and he's dressed in armour and he's black. He represents the darkness. He also represents a skeleton, because after we all die, our skeletons remain. And so it's about life after death. It's about life after this cycle's ending. It's about new life. So that's what he represents, and he's the darkness. But he's riding a white horse, which represents the light, because life's all about the darkness and the light, the black and the white, the fear over love. And that's what that's about. And in this card, it's combined with the yellow, which is about intellect and spiritual awareness, and the blue, which is about subconscious and intuition. So it's all combined in this one card. And that's what it's representing, the wholeness of everything, and that everything is in a cycle. So don't be scared of the death card. It can be a really good card in a spread. Sometimes when it's combined with other cards, it can mean things, but it means a dramatic change, whatever the situation is. If you're single, you get this card, it means a dramatic change. It means that whatever your life is now is going to change. So that's a good card. If you're not happy being single, you want that change. May mean that, you know, you're gonna end that dry spell of being single and being, if you're unhappy of being single, of being alone, that's going to change, and it's going to make a dramatic change in your life. So that's really cool. I love the death card, and I'm glad it came up as my first card. So yeah, so thanks for being here. I will put my little chapter that I've been writing on the death card. As I say, I've just wrote it for pooling all that information together, so that you can, if you choose to, you can read tarot. So thanks for coming, and see you all soon. Bye.